Get reaction now from the Federation of Unions of South Africa. Fedusa's Acting General Secretary, Riefdah Ajam, joins us via Skype. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So several federations and unions declaring war on the finance minister, including Fedusa. What exactly do you mean by that?
Good afternoon to you. First and foremost, as you've articulated, the unions in totality, including the federations, have clearly drawn the battle lines, and equally so, Fedusa has openly declared war on Minister Tito Mboweni for his unilateral changes and the modality that he's continuously using by making these pronouncements in the media without legitimizing it in the PSCBC where it rightfully belongs.
Yeah, so what damage do you think this cut to the public sector wage bill is going to do to workers?
The cut is tremendous. It flows throughout the entire public service. You're taking a look at health in particular. There's a narrative now that we need to move forward in terms of the implementation of NHI. How do you do so when critical posts within the sector continue to be unfilled? When you talk about education, this budgetary cut that is being pronounced by the minister yesterday as well, how is it going to be able to give meaning to the fact that minister has announced, as equally emphasized by the president, that we need to be taking forward the agenda of 4IR. So when you take a look at robotics and coding, how are our teachers supposed to be able to advance and strengthen their morale when you are engaging a narrative such as this? And equally so, when we are trying to make South Africa a destination where we want tourists to be infiltrated or coming to South Africa, and equally so your critical posts such as Home Affairs. So once again, the impact on workers is going to be dire, first and foremostly with the cuts. And secondly, we're not even beginning to engage the issue with regards to the critical vacancies that have remained unfilled for many years.
And you reckon that government's actually making workers suffer because of the corruption at the top at SOEs, for instance?
Undoubtedly.
So how do you engage with government to actually make them aware that you're not happy with what's happened? And what's your next move in that regard?
Well, the next move from Fedusa is that there has to be a mandating process in place. We are currently engaging our public sector unions in particular, because what South Africa needs to understand is that this is a double-edged sword, first and foremostly. Minister Mboweni has just on Tuesday reneged on the 3-year wage agreement where public servants were supposed to have been awarded an adjustment on the last year of the 3-year program, and now so as announced in the budget yesterday when the wage bill is going to be reduced. And we feel this is totally unjustifiable when Minister is trying to balance his budget as a result of self-inflicted goals that have been brought about by the various administrations.
And your last resort, we've had other federations saying that they will take to the streets. Will you join in on that action?
Well, I can only verify that action once I've gotten the mandate from my public sector unions. But at this point in time, desperation calls for drastic measures. And I'm almost certain, but going to be speaking prematurely on that will be a similar move that will be taken. But we are currently engaging and seeking mandates from our public sector unions. But once again, as we say, we do not want to be legitimizing these kind of discussions when it needs to be given expression within the PSCBC.
All right, thank you for your time and your insight. Appreciate it. That was Fedusa's Acting General Secretary, Riefdah Ajam.